Wait, are we actually having a Jia Shun training arc? Amazing. Oh my god!
Morning. I swear a lot.
Hello friends, and welcome back to Limbus Company. Finally, welcome to the Spring Cultivation Intervalo. Exciting, looks like it's going to be a training arc, so that'll be a ton of fun, and because it is Limbus, there's obviously going to be something fucking horrible that happens during it, but it also seems like it's going to be very lighthearted, so I dig that. First of all though, we got a ticket to spend, and I'll be fucked if I'm not going to immediately spend that ticket. Also, a ton of identities came out during my break, so I don't know, we might get something cool. Then again, I'm pretty sure I have most of these identities, so I'm really not expecting much, but yeah, I know a lot of people only watch Limbus and stuff and don't watch the other stuff. So, how have you guys been? It's been a little while. Hasn't been that long in the grand scheme of things, but the gaps between Limbus content, like, you know, stuff I can really work with in a video, always feels like quite a while. So, it's always nice to be back and to see how people are doing, see how people feel about Limbus, and hello! Oh. Oh well. It's fine. I suppose I could do some extractions, but maybe I should do it at the end of the intervalo, because we might get an identity that kind of spoils what's going on in here. Then again, not really much of a shock spoiler to suggest that the Heishu might be involved. Oh, but before we begin, we have stuff to claim as well. Yes, many things.
더는 하늘에 오르지 못한다 해도 당신을 품으려 끝없이.
That's very nice. That's very fucking cool. I like that quite a lot. That's pretty fucking sweet. Tears of the Tarnished Blood. This is maidenless behavior, Sinclair.
주군의 책사이자 오른팔인 자공인이라. 주군의 명에 따라 너희 부대를 지휘하게 되었지. 자루다.
It's both of them.
여러분이 하나둘 모아온 꽃잎처럼 시간도 차곡차곡 쌓여가더니 이 즐거운 기회가 제게도 찾아왔네요.
Good stuff. Oh, hello.
이 몸을 온당히 벌하심에 기꺼이 죄를 받아들이나이다.
Tears of the Tarnished Blood, Hongler. I'd make the same joke, but it's like physically impossible for Hongler to be maidenless, so that's a lot of stuff. So, oh, okay, yeah, and a banner as well, love to see it. So for this intervalo, I kind of want to roll out the Rupture team again. Now, my Rupture teams suck, and they suck on purpose, because I love making use of the 7 Association characters, because I love them. And I want to introduce... Oh, I don't... Nah, fuck it. I'm just going to introduce Heishu Pack Ryoshu, because I'm not in love with 7 Ryoshu. So I figure I'll introduce this version of Ryoshu instead to be part of the Rupture team. I know that Heishu Faust is just an upgraded version, basically, of 7 Association Faust, but I fucking refuse. Also, I don't have it. I honestly thought I did. Doesn't matter. I wouldn't replace her anyway. 7 Faust is the best. Absolutely the best. We'll just get you up to level 55. There we go. I miss my 7 Association characters. I want to use them, but also I've leveled up these characters, but I haven't uptied them yet. Figured we could go through that first, then get in there. Won't take long, don't you worry. So, uptie, Clash with Inflict Rupture Count, plus 10 speed, reuse coin once. Yep, that's fucking incredible. So unit speed is faster than target, still plus speed, difference times rupture potency on target, percent damage, max 50%. Gain haste, inflict rupture on Clash Win, at 10 plus speed, more rupture. If unit has stride and mail, deal 5% more damage. Lovely. I'll gut you with a cursed engraved blade, sure. If this unit speed is faster than the target, steal speed difference, extra damage. If this unit speed is faster than the target by 2 or more, coin power plus 1, gain 3 stride and mail, Clash Win, inflict 2 rupture count. Lots of rupture, not tons of rupture count, but some, it's decent. Increase to the base value of Blink Step, which is good, because if we can reuse it, that's kind of incredible. Increase to the base value of As Written, and that seems to be all. And the passive ain't bad.
믿던 짐승에게 목을 물어뜯기는 느낌은 어떻지? 천천히 말해봐라. 고치지 않을 테니.
That's pretty sick. If I ever bother to get around to doing the uptight cutscenes, I'll do them later. Can't be asked to do them now. I just don't want to sit here and read more shit than I have to. I already read a ton, and I can't be asked. But the other one I want is Fang Hunt Office Fixer Hongler, because this seems very fun. So you'd gain a Cheerful Hunt's End, which is a bunch of Rupture stuff, very fun. Increase to the coin value of Slam, and increase to the value of Bone Crusher. I think I upside this to 2 because I wanted to use it in a mirror dungeon. Probably. Combat start, one ally with the highest sum of bleed potency and count loses 2 bleed count. When one ally with the fastest speed hits an enemy with Rupture, inflict 1 defense level down. Fine, I suppose. It's very specific though.
먹잇감이라고 생각했던 존재에게 사냥당하는 기분은 어떠신가요?
Ah, he looks very cool. Appreciate it. Good stuff. Now quickly, because it's always worth investigating this, what does upside 4 look like? So Blink Step would gain if the unit speed is faster than the targets by 3 or more coin power plus 1, which is actually kind of insane. So unit speed is faster, 3 or more coin power plus 1. Increase to the coin value of I'll gut you with a Curse Engraved Blade. Gain coin power based on speed different plus 1 for every 2. Okay, that's actually incredible. Yeah, go on then. 17 is already a bit underpowered, so having something that's actually just a fucking weapon I think would help quite a lot. And I think Ryoshu can fit that bill. What about you, Hongler? Extra Rupture. Coin power on Rupture. If target is a Blood Fiend or a Blood Bag, gain additional coin power. Heads hit inflicts 1 Rupture count, 2 healing down, extra base value on Cheerful Hunt's End, 6 plus Rupture coin power plus 1. If target is a Blood Fiend or Blood Bag, gain extra coin power. If target has plus 15 Rupture or has less than 30% HP, reuse this coin once per skill. Emergency Styptics. Combat start, lose 2 bleed potency on self 3 times per turn. If bleed drop potency drops to 0 or less, the bleed effect expires. Target. Yeah, fuck it, go on then. I like Fang Hunt Hongler, even if it is really kind of specific to Bleed and Blood Fiend characters, or opponents, I suppose. It's still very cool, so I think I'll just run with it. Oh, also, we need to look at this. Unclashable. Ignores the target's defense skill. The skill does not hit an enemy. After attack, gain Flower Burying Wedge. This unit takes fixed damage by the skill's final power. This damage does not stagger or reduce this unit's HP below 1. The skill does not consume ego resources. Wait. Deals plus 2% damage for every Flower Burying Wedge. Deal plus 4% damage for every Tarnished Blood on self and the target has Rupture. Okay, so this actually works for this identity. And on top of that, all coins on this unit's leftmost base attack skill on the dashboard become unbreakable coins. Turn start, gain 2 offense level up and 2 defense level down for every stack. At turn start, at plus 3 stack, gain 1 Tarnished Blood. Okay, so you want to use Tears of the Blood, Tarnished Blood Inception to kind of build it up and then pay it off with the end. After attack, remove Flower Burying Wedge and Tarnished Blood from self, then die. Okay. So you're really building up a finale there. Targets defeated after this unit's attack or counter skills gain 2 haste next turn to all allies, including this unit. Next turn, apply 1 damage up to the damage type and affinity of the skill used to activate this effect once per turn. Inflict 1 attack power down to all enemies next turn, once per turn. When this unit dies, apply 1 gluttony damage up and pierce damage up to all allies next turn. So this is actually great for the, what's it called? For the Rupture team. Don't know how much I'll use it, because like I've talked about before, I don't really like using abilities that sacrifice units, even if it's a self-destruct. I liked using the Ardor Blossom Faust identity for that one particular battle during the, what's it called? LCB checkup, which, you know, to EX it, which I was really struggling to do. I think it was the Sloth one with those guys who are just really fucking durable, and I borrowed someone's Ardor Blossom Moth for that. And I liked that because you kind of work Faust to the point where she's basically going to die soon anyway, so just pay it off. This, I don't know, feels unnecessary. Maybe if Hongler is about to die, sure, but you'd still need to be building it up, and then you're just wasting turns, because from what I can tell, or from what I remember, the ego doesn't actually do any damage. Yeah, the skill does not hit an enemy, and he hurts himself with it. So it's not even a case of, oh shit, Hongler's about to die or is definitely going to die, quickly throw this out. It's just a case of you'd have to build it up. You'd have to be working with this in mind in order to pay it off. I'm sure it can be wildly effective, but it's just not really for me. What about you, Sinclair? Is it much the same way? Gain Denial. When this unit takes damage that brings their HP down to 0, this unit's HP does not drop below 1. Recover from stagger due to damage. If the above effect activated, dies at turn end, expires upon death, retreat, or turn end. Okay, so that gets you 1 last turn. It seems like the purpose for this is to just be like, okay, Sinclair's about to die, throw it out. he will definitely get to do it, but he will definitely die at the end of the turn. Gain Denial, gain Gluttony Resin, +4, Flower Burying Pin. It's decent because Denial's effect only takes place if it's activated by him taking damage that would bring him to 0, so it can be used for a Hail Mary. It's just quite specific though. These probably are better if you thread spin them, but I don't really feel the need to thread spin them. Let's get in there. Yeah, I like it already. What do we got? I sure hope it's voice acted, but I fucking know it won't be. The Family Hierarch's Proof. Let's do this. The hall was chill AF with a tense air, and those present all sat in complete silence. Then there was Jia Yuanshun with her lips slightly curled into a mirthless sneer because she's a villain, as we saw. And at the center of it all sat Jia Xishun, unsure of what to say next. Well, everyone. Jia Yuanshun, seated next to the hierarch seat upon which Xishun sat, smoothly takes control of the situation and begins the assembly. Honored heads of houses, lords of each family, their proxies, members, and... She nods lightly, acknowledging our awkward presence. And little Xishun's guests, who stay here at our H-Corp, seems to be extending without a foreseeable end. Isn't she technically from Q-Corp? What's up with her acting like she's any less of an outsider than we are? I mean, she was born here, I suppose. Still, we're best buddies with the Hierarch, so I'm pretty sure we can stay literally as long as we fucking like. Yeah, and did everyone catch that? Our H-Corp? You know, the one she's been absent from for like a million years? Yeah, she's gonna be making some power plays for sure. Regardless of everything else, the fact that she hijacked the meeting from the get-go is ridiculous, especially with Jia Xishun, the family hierarch herself, presiding over this official assembly. Clearly, she is using the pretense of assisting the hierarch to assert her own dominance over these proceedings. I would never do such a thing. As we are all aware, Venerable former Jia has always discussed with and confided in me about the matters of the greatest import, the momentousness of which steered the very course of H-Corp's prospects. Even after I departed the family for Q-Corp, Venerable former Jia has always written missives to confer such matters with me. Wait, is that a smudge on my screen or is that her nose? Oh, that is her nose. I don't clean the screen very often. Something about it smells suspicious, but we'd already missed the window to challenge her to present us with proof without breaking decorum. Thus, as it naturally follows that I would be the inheritor of the Venerable Jia will, I shall be presiding over this regular assembly, which we now convene to discuss and determine the future of H-Corp. I think the future of H-Corp is wherever the fuck Xishun says it is. What a grandiose and self-important introduction. It seemed clear to me that she considered herself to be the main character of this scene, or something. Which is funny, because I suspect that the moment we leave, she will become increasingly irrelevant. Maybe not to H-Corp, but to us as the audience. Your great certainty befits your station, Lady Yunshun. Oh, yes. We are all impressed by your utmost dedication to the citizenry of Hongyan despite your already saturated schedule, they say, reading notes on their hands. We can hardly thank you enough for your magnanimity, Lady Yuanshun. Remember me? I'm the guy who yelled at his subordinates. Ah, my parents, a true shame that they couldn't be here, have always sung praises of your expertise, Lady Yuanshun. And he's like, I don't really like her, Responses from the participants are just as protracted, only obsequious instead of arrogant. As heads of some of those houses were under investigation for consorting with the forces foreign to Hongyan, their vacuum was filled by their children's generation, many of whom we had the pleasure of meeting during the Family Hierarch War, and some of them were real motherfuckers. Very well, then shall we? Welcome, Jia Xishun, the next person to sit upon the seat of Hongyan's Family Hierarch. Hello. Greetings, I am... Now, let's begin. Wow. Blatant. So we're gonna go with the, like the regent situation where it's like, oh, the person on the throne's far too young to be doing this themselves. So we'll have a regent to do all the shit for them. And then the regent's basically like, well, I'm basically the hierarch, right? Like, yeah, Zishun is actually the hierarch, but she can't do anything, and then she'll just kind of like not let her do anything and just be in charge. For many years, all those who have gathered here have toiled day and night for the eternal prosperity and growth of H Corp. Isn't it wonderful? Zishun's expression immediately sours as Yuan Shun unceremoniously cuts off her self-introduction. First on the agenda for this assembly are urgent discussions and passage of new major policy items that have been tabled for far too long. Distributive contribution rights, auctioning policy, quarterly amnesty policy. Go on, Zishun, call her out. Hold on, big sister Yuan Shun. I was saying shit. Passing the distributive contributions rights auctioning policy would allow the open auction for any remaining rooms the day before reconstruction days, and the quarterly amnesty wouldn't do anything but give unfair advantage to certain families and high net worth individuals by guaranteeing them large real estate assignments regardless of their performance in the previous quarter. Zishun stutters a little, flustered, before continuing. My point is, these policies are going to rattle H Corp's economy the moment they go into effect. Besides, these policies were pretty much drawn to favor lining the pockets of a select few families and high-ranking officials of H Corp, who are probably the people you need to butter up to keep your position. But you're a cool girl and you'll probably try and change that. If I may, venerable hierarch, lining the pockets is quite an odd turn of phrase to refer to the bare minimum of respect a society might repay to its highest contributing members, don't you think? Oh, wow. Oh, he believes it as well. Oh, that's sad. Oh, before we continue, Zishun, I'm not entirely certain if you are aware, but ever since the ascension of the new family hierarch, the perceived value of Hongyan has been racing to the, for the lack of a better word, rock bottom. Clearly, this demonstrates Hongyan's concern and its lack of faith in the newly appointed family hierarch. Wow, you're not even being, like, she wasn't being subtle, she's being even less subtle. Therefore, it naturally follows that our most urgent task at hand is to put a stop to this value and reputation freefall and restore prosperity and greatness to Hongyan once again. Yeah? Is that what you're trying to do? Yeah, okay, and that's the family hierarch's job, right? Why are you... If you had perused H Corp's articles of association, you would have known that should H Corp be deemed to be in a state of crisis, the four great houses and the board of directors' voice may also carry de facto power in the assembly. That doesn't seem very helpful for our purposes. And the board of directors, that's us, has determined that we are now in a state of crisis. Oh wow, so you can decide we're in a state of crisis. How the fuck did anything... Oh, well, the worm. I see, right, yeah, the worm basically gave the hierarch de facto power. Without it, the board will basically take control. Say a crisis? What crisis? Everything that led to my ascension to the family hierarch was legitimate, down to the final approval. These unseemly rumors and slanders are tanking our value, which we have built up assiduously through years upon years of toil. So what is this, if not a state of crisis? Look, a bit of a downturn is not a state of crisis. But of course she's playing it up, you know. And who wouldn't doubt the new family hierarch's qualities when this decline has coincided precisely with her ascension? It's because half the fucking family betrayed Hongyan. That's why the place isn't doing very well. Yuan Shun was somehow turning the room against Zishun without presenting a single shred of evidence, portraying her as some burdensome hierarch who was single-handedly tanking H Corp's value. No one in the assembly, not a single representative from any family's presence, stepped up to point out how Zishun's swift actions were what finally repelled the outside forces that had marched right up to Hongyan's front yard. Or how she deftly maneuvered her forces to quell the embers of war by quickly taking control of the chaos within Daguanyan. She hadn't shown any glaring signs of incompetence since her ascension despite her relative inexperience, but... Everyone in Hongyan's board of directors, the head of each family, averted their eyes as though all of that had somehow inconceivably slipped their minds. So you take yourself to be a qualified individual for that responsibility, Zishun. Very well, then proceed. We're all waiting for you to begin your briefing before the assembly regarding the last 30 years' quarterly net revenue records for Hongyan's singularity-related businesses, your calculations on next year's fiscal debt forecasts, and the exact recipe and variation numbers for the policies that have been registered in the last 5 years. Isn't that a subordinate's job? I would say. Then again, Jia Me was an insanely good fucking bolus maker, so it might actually... The expectation that the Hierarch would actually know quite a lot about bolus making would not be unreasonable, to be fair. Obviously, Yuan Shun's twisting everything, but she's twisting everything with little nuggets of logic in there as well, enough to make it feasible to the room, as it were, you know? That's, I don't know. Do they cover that on TikTok? The Venerable Hierarch has not received that data prior to the meeting. You must all be aware of the chaos that followed the Ascension. We are still indexing all available materials to... Isn't that funny? Not once in the history of Hogwanyan has the family hierarch ever failed to provide immediate and detailed answers regarding Hongyan's historical statistics, because that information was included in the worm, which Zixun doesn't have. Yeah. This is not going well. Jia Yuanshun must have known all along too. She must have known how the previous family hierarchs were all directly supplied with an immense repository of information through the Zhanhuang worm or something of the equivalent. And she's using it to target Zixun's weakness, knowingly asking questions she, the first family hierarch without the Enamna worm, couldn't possibly answer. The responsibilities tied to the venerable seat of the hierarch Jia Me are matched only by the great power bestowed upon it. Thus, how are we to leave the matters of the wing to someone who is so evidently unprepared for the task? Given the present circumstances, our hands may be forced to call to vote the motion of no confidence. The motion of no confidence? I'm guessing this is how you would get rid of a hierarch without, like, open rebellion. If the board of directors are like, yo, this hierarch sucks ass, then they all vote. A motion of no confidence, when passed by the high-ranking political officials, can result in the removal of the chief executive from office. So it's not specific to H-Corp either. So they're going after Zixun's power. So this is the picture Jia Yuanshun wanted to paint. Impotent family hierarch stammering and stumbling her way through the first meeting to the total and near unanimous lack of support from the H-Corp board of directors. Whatever jargon they're on about, seems to me they've got not an ounce of respect for the lass or us. Never trust twats overly obsessed with numbers and optimizations. They'll be the first ones to kick you out the moment they no longer see you as useful. Ain't that the fucking truth? You're not the only one who's pissed off, so can you please stop shaking your leg for a second? Don't need to make our frustration any more obvious, you know. My ass would have left the chair long ago if it weren't for this, lass. With the 1,000-yard stare. Because I'm man. I could have fucking caved all their heads in. I'd have already done it by now. And everything would be so much easier. In H-Corp, should the board of directors unanimously vote in favor of the motion, certain parts of the family hierarch's powers will be removed. It is entirely possible that she'll become a hierarch in name only, a puppet king, as it were. With all the power given to the regent, or the evil vizier, as you might have known in some stories. But this has happened a lot in history as well, as I'm sure many of you are aware in real life. Happened quite a lot in Britain, actually. Oh, so they're threatening to fire her unless she falls in line. This is some needlessly convoluted way to... The Assembly will now consider the motion of no confidence. Oh wow, you're just doing it now. Are there any objections to bringing the motion of no confidence against family hierarch Jia Zixun to the floor? Hold on, the vote of no confidence isn't an item you can invoke so lightly. The Shear family has no injections. Oh, it's this petulant little dickhead, okay. Let's say the Wang family has no objections either. Okay, so you're useless. Like, he's gonna be like, oh, yes, I'm playing the long game by doing fucking nothing all the time. Okay, I know your type. Zhu family too. That's in, you know, like, I appreciate I accidentally shot past that a bit too quick, but yeah, she's been told to say that. The arrest of the previous family head seems to have changed precisely nothing. Those in power wore more youthful faces, but their tongues still carried the same old resistance to change. Almost as if Yuan Shun went around and threatened all of them and not just Bachai. Whatever her fucking name is. The new family heads were just as uncooperative as ever, and everyone seemed to be solely interested in staying in Jia Yuan Shun's good graces. New faces, same old. And needless to say, Heathcliff wasn't the only sinner fuming with rage. 'Tis far too vexing to simply watch and do naught. Right, I knew you wouldn't let this slide, Don Quixote. They're walking all over Zixun like she's not even here. Forsooth, we cannot let such injustice transpire unabated. Hey, seems like we're both on the same page. That's it. I'm not going to hesitate to make myself heard again. This time I want to be courageous. With your help, Don Quixote. By which I mean you do it and I stand nearby. Come on, let's do this together, okay? Wait, hold on, Sinclair. We have no power in this room. None. Not a fucking Scooby. Very well, I am in agreement. Yeah, then let's go on 3 at the same time. She won't. If there are no objections, 1, 2. The Assembly will put this resolution to vote in a month, and 3. Here I objection. Oh, and he's alone as well. I hate to do this to you, Sinclair, but I should point out that I'm pretty sure the vote of no confidence, when they put the motion in, is exclusive to members of the board, not random mercenaries hanging out in the room. Also, nice Phoenix Wright reference, well done. Bloody hell, oh, have you got mental? Sinclair stood tall at the center of the entire room's undivided astonishment. Alone. Huh? Don Quixote, still firmly in her seat, gazed upon Sinclair's proud stand and rubbed her nose. Young Sinclair, thou hast evolved indeed. What an unmitigated pursuer of justice thou hast become, with such unrelenting fervour and utter disregard for decorum. Certainly, mine efforts have finally borne fruit. What the hell? Did Don Quixote or Heathcliff suddenly rub off on you or something? No, wait, no, no. What happened there? What happened to objecting together? Huh? I had taken thy suggestion to mean that we must voice our dissatisfaction through the official channels, borrowing the titles of the illustrious Red Gaze in the department of LCC. Disputes in succession of power on such a high level of government are hardly ever resolved with rash grandstanding. Wouldst thou not agree? Why are you normal all of a sudden? Because Sancho's in there as well now. Lad, what just happened? What happened to the clammy, meek boy? Well, I got calluses. Well, that's... I guess I just assume that this is how Limbus Company rolls now. What, like we did in fucking Chapter 2? Because I'm not opposed to that. There seems to have been an unexpected outburst from Zishan's guests. Oh, singular. It was just Sinclair, but yeah. Withdraw your objection and we will consider this momentary loss of control and not enter it as an official statement. Wait, but we would like it as an official statement. Register our objection to your bullshit. It was, Wait, are they literally kind of directly referencing the point when Phoenix would be like, objection, I've got this, and the judge is like, the fuck is that? And Phoenix is like, never mind. Sinclair's eyes were shaking like someone with his life on the line. Nice one, Sinclair. If not, I take it you have full confidence in her abilities. Yeah, we do. So please, I encourage you to elaborate. When and how will Zishan demonstrate her aptitude for the responsibilities of the family hierarch? His voice continues to shrivel into a corner. Ah, Sinclair, you should have owned it. He can't, and how could anyone? How could anyone when we all had a very clear view of her path to ascension? During the family hierarch evaluation, Xia Baoyui donated the coins he received from Xia Chu to you. Essentially, you pity-partied your way to victory. Pity-partied? And for your ascension, Xia Chu and those outsiders from an upstart company had to almost literally carry you to the seat. Unfortunately, she's not wrong. Has there ever been a single victory attained by your own hands in that entire process? Oh, the first round. Ah, but have we all not been witness to the qualities she exhibited during the family hierarch evaluation and her own ascension? You must have no shame snaking your forked tongue in the audience of both heaven and earth, like an unwitting buffoon. Is it the lad? Is it the man? Is it the man himself? That's when quiet, even footsteps broke through Jia Yuanshun's merciless dismantling of Jia Xishun. Yet, I see the point. Oh, it's actually... Well, she's being the bad. She's gonna be the man. I dig it. Yet, I see the point. The hierarch, with her grace, needs only demonstrate her already established qualifications before all. There's no place for an outsider to speak, but proceed. Just how will she prove herself before us? Oh, what an odd statement coming from a fellow outsider who's been chattering for minutes on end. Forgive me, I could only presume from your verbosity that the right to speak in this forum was open to all outsiders. So Zigong's the only one who's come in here with the actual fucking balls to point this shit out, and the eloquence to actually get the points forward. You have said it yourself, no? That the vote on the no confidence resolution will proceed in a month. I really like Zigong because I don't know how to phrase this. I mean, there's many reasons why I like Zigong, but this specific point is hard to phrase. She looks like, and someone's gonna get upset with me for this, but bear with me. She would look like a Dynasty Warriors character if it wasn't for the fact that she looks cooler than any existing Dynasty Warriors character. You know what I mean? And that says a lot. I have a real fondness for Dynasty Warriors. I genuinely do. But her design is nice and simple. The robe, or whatever its name is, I don't know what it is fantastic and absolutely gorgeous. And she herself has a great design. She's always been, up to this point, I'd say, quietly interesting and cool. Like, it was hard to focus on her when Chu was there, you know, because Chu is Chu. And then you had Zilu as well. But I really do hope, it'll be okay if this doesn't happen, but I do hope that in this intervallo even, we do get a little bit more time with Zigong. Because I think she could really do with some spotlight, and this has now definitely highlighted it for me. She's a good character, she's interesting. I think we could do with more time with her, personally. Also, I love that they've made Yuan Shun utterly detestable. Like, they've done a great job with it. She is deliciously evil. Not Jarmu levels of evil, but it's a different kind of evil. It's much more, I don't know if it's conniving, but in a different way. It's almost as if she's kind of like Jarmu's protege, where it's like she doesn't quite know all of the ins and outs of the statecraft that Jarmu would like implement, as it were, because Jarmu, even at her worst, always remembered to be have this magnanimous vibe to her, where she was like, oh, but I'm just a lovable, caring, doting hierarch of Hongyan, you know? Whereas Yuan Shun is a lot more directly venomous. She's not afraid to insult people. She's not afraid to be unsubtle, which has its pluses and minuses in the position that she's in. And here, to be fair, she's discarding subtlety because before Zigong was in the room, she had a clear shot on Zishun and was going for the kill, basically. All of this in terms of, like, political discussion in statecraft, right? And politicking. And even now, with Zigong's introduction, this might be about to change, I don't know, we'll see in a minute. But she hasn't exactly lost her composure. Like, she was like the tiniest bit rattled by Zigong's entrance, but other than that, she's still very much maintaining her composure, which really highlights the fact that we desperately need Zigong right now, because none of us can do this. None of us can have a word battle with Yuan Shun and win. She's too good at it. Obviously, her time in Q-Corp, she learned quite a lot. And even then, I imagine Zigong's not gonna, like, completely dismantle everything Yuan Shun said. She's simply gonna buy us time. Or at least improve Zishun's image before the board of directors just a teeny bit, probably by bringing down Yuan Shun ever so slightly. It's a nice little bit of a political war, as it were. That seems to give the venerable hierarch a month to regain the trust of each family. What? What? It is rather clear to me that there are many who find their own defeat in the family hierarch war difficult to accept. Such a doubt is easily resolved. A match between clans should lay out the results quite obviously. Very well, a fair challenge between clans, which would preclude the participation of the family hierarch's Heishu packs and the Xiaolin guards. So you would remove her Pao and Zhu before the game even starts. Why not make this test a series of sparring matches in both academia and martial arts, if such is the case? Cannon and chariot, fun. What audacity, do you truly have that much faith in Jia Zishun's abilities? Yeah, she fucking rules. She was absolutely beating those blood bags' heads in when we were at, oh my god, I've forgotten the name. La Mancha Land, that's it. You must know the consequences of failing these matches, no? It would be a unanimous, one-sided end to the vote of no confidence, and naturally any and all rights appertaining to the family hierarchy shall be transferred to the board of directors. So it's all or nothing, basically. That is fine by us. You are free to choose any champion whom you see fit. Imagine if they get you, like, somehow, and Zigong's like, what the fuck? He's like, I do what I want. I am mysterious in my ways. Unfortunately, your underlings don't seem to share your inflated confidence. But in the midst of the confused, flabbergasted silence from the other sinners, a clear, carefree, yet defiant voice rings out, Hongle's retort. That's not true at all, big sister Yuan Shun. Go on, Hongle. We actually have just as much confidence in Zishun as she does. His wide eyes stare directly and unblinkingly into Zhao Yuanshun's, despite the fact his eyes are closed, but shush. It occurred to me that this might be his way of expressing anger. I mean, it was as close as Hongler has ever gotten, I suppose, to say something defiantly. It's not really his bag. Impudent child, how dare he stare me down like that? Then you are welcome to try. 1 month. You have but 1 month to prove before all in audience that she is indeed fit to be the family hierarch. Should you fail, the vote may as well be a mere formality. In other words, should she successfully prove herself, none of you shall again rightly challenge the independent rights and powers bestowed upon the family hierarch. So Zigong's making a point to be like, okay, well, if she fails and that results in it being a one-sided conclusion, then if she succeeds, it's a one-sided conclusion in the other direction. I'm going to make sure that's stated publicly and acknowledged publicly so that we don't have to do this bullshit again. If she wins, and you all shut the fuck up. Because she's in charge, and she's proved it. End of story. Which I can't imagine Yuan Shun's going to be very happy about. The consequences of such recalcitrance would be no different from those that the traitors are facing, wouldn't you agree? Well then, we will excuse ourselves now. Wait, hold on! People are making decisions for me! Zigong turns around towards us with that same mysterious smile and slowly directs us outside the assembly hall. We may call them sparring matches, but you must know that each and every one of them is a test to prove your claim to the seat of the family hierarch. A month is a time far too brief for drastic improvement, bullshit. Regardless of for whom it may be, learning from a proper master for 10 months straight might teach you a few things, but who knows how long the search for one such master might take, not to mention the official channels through which you must bring them past Agwan Yan's walls, which may take up to 2 months. Why not relent now and relinquish but a part of your powers as the family hierarch to the board of directors? It seems that this fellow outsider's mental faculties are impressively lacking. Oh yeah. Go on. My lord has spoken in the past that when in the presence of 3 people, at least one of them is bound to be a teacher of mine. And here they are, aren't they? Jia Xishun's masters, each carrying something new to teach her. All 13 of them? Oh, that's a risky play. Zigong gestured confidently toward the flabbergasted sinners, and the assembly came to an end. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ah boy, here we go. Plot established. That is interesting. 12 teachers. Each one more incompetent than the last. Just going to quickly do that. Not that I'm going to need it today, I don't think, but it's good to stay on top of it. We were planning to train Jia Xishun anyway, but it seems that we are now under an unexpected deadline. Oh, my life is over. I have to trust you idiots to teach me. Hey, when you said the LCB was going to help me out, did you guys mean that you were going to publicly humiliate the crap out of me at the assembly? Nice one, Sinclair, well done. Ah, of course not, Zishun. Big sister Yuan Shun's an old snake. You've just given her 30 days to set the perfect stage for my downfall, to prove to the world once and for all that I'm not qualified at all to be the family hierarch. And prom's tomorrow! But Zishun, weren't you always so good at humbling anyone who dared underestimate you? Not so much anymore. Back then, like an idiot, I thought I just had to hold on with everything I had. I thought that's all I ever had to do. But now, things different. For reasons. It's true that I'm vastly underqualified to be the family hierarch, and she's right, I pretty much lucked into this position. Which unfortunately is not entirely false. If it wasn't for Hongler and Chu, she probably wouldn't have made it past round 2 very well. Zishun, don't tell me that woman's bullshit actually got to you, but it is rooted in fact is the problem. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather Zishun was a hierarch than anyone else, but it's kinda true. Well, she wasn't completely wrong, right? I'm just some kid who happened to be just good enough to survive some traps and ambushes. I'm afraid that the responsibility of a family hierarch might be too much. Her self-confidence has significantly decreased compared to the observation from our previous interaction. But heck, Zishun, I don't remember you being this kind of character. What happened to the girl who looked down on us the moment we met? You even had the audacity to pretend to not know who we were, didn't you? Where'd all that confidence go, girl? You need to start looking down on more people. That actually got under her skin back then, huh? So, Zishun, what do you want to do? Are you sure you're okay with this? Are you okay with letting this happen? Nah! If I let it happen, Big Sister Yuan Shun's going to continue expanding her influence here. I'm sure she and the board of directors have been cozying up to each other for a long time. Is the implication that her testaments on her influence were true? Yep, it's true. Before she left for Q-Corp, Big Sister Yuan Shun used to always accompany Xia Me to these assemblies. If we just let them hold the vote of no confidence, they're going to unanimously vote against me and slowly reduce the family hierarch's scope of power, and who knows, they might even call for a re-evaluation, however unlikely that sounds. Besides, Big Sister Yuan Shun, I think her definition of Hong Yan's prosperity might be different from mine. I.e., the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. She does seem like the type. What she's looking for isn't H-Corp's prosperity, it's Daguan Yan's. Yeah, that's the difference. And I know that this all has something to do with its ties to Q-Corp, which, I bet, has already been going on for a while just under my radar. I'm sure they've already had plenty of talks behind my back. Which is not the kind of vision you have for Hong Yan's future, right? And that's why you spoke up against her? My vision for Hong Yan is something they'll never fucking go along with. I want to change H-Corp to be the kind of place where people can live without fear. I just never imagined I'd have to prove myself like this, and in only 30 days. Even then, your vision hasn't changed, right? It hasn't. Great, so it's decided then, huh? Training montage. We need some music. We just need Foul to deliver the bad news to Sword. Don't call me Foul, I don't like it. So to summarize, the responsibility of training Zishun to win these matches, I mean these amorphous tests upon which hinges the family hierarch's fate, and almost every facet of which is entirely under Yuan Shun's control, by the way, and it's probably a trap, within the next 30 days is ours. And we have to explain that to Sword. Haha, wow, that sounds like a lot of work when you put it like that. Glad I'm not doing it, haha. Post-mortem reports have become quite rote. Sometime later, prithee thou must impress upon the illustrious red gaze that 'twasn't mine idea this time. Not another beat down for poor Don Quixote. Sinclair stared blankly at Don Quixote as she made her desperate plea towards Sword. Yes, and I understand that as well, for the 8th time. Oh wow, so she sold him out 8 times. As always, Sword was wearing the same refreshingly incomprehensible smile. The kind of smile that makes people increasingly anxious the longer it lasts. It seems like it lasted a while. Well, that gives us about 30 days, during which those sparring matches, tests, whatever, will be happening as well. Great! Then let's give it our best. Sinclair mutters in a near whisper, clearly feeling responsible for what happened. Yes, I understand, I never should have stepped out of line like that, but something just... Yeah, so let's give it our best. We're going to conveniently ignore the outburst and move on. I totally agree, we messed everything up again and... Huh? Limbus Company was always going to remain here and assist Miss Jia Zishun to acclimatize herself to the responsibilities of the family hierarch. It was always a part of our plan. Well, I sure am glad that I took Faust's advice about how meticulous planning is completely pointless when it comes to LCB's missions. I never would have had to submit 9 separate disciplinary incident reports back during the J-Corp incident had I known. I believe I should be able to explain this further. Prior to his departure, my lord was concerned that such a thing would come to pass. That is why he has left Zilu and I here to look after the new family hierarch's position, which must still be on rather thin ice. Oh, so that's what they were privately talking about when he pulled them aside. Doing nothing and allowing her wicked machinations to progress would have irrevocably, I've always struggled with that word, made the entire board of directors naught but putty in Yuan Shun's hands. God, I forgot how hard it is to say all these fucking words and names in sequence. And that would have led that snake to de facto assume the seat of the family hierarch. Against such an insidious foe who wields intrigue as her weapon, the most viable strategy is the most direct one, to challenge her head on. Makes sense. Besides, has this not given you the excuse you needed to prolong your company's stay in Duaguanyan? This is also a prime opportunity for Jia Xishun to further solidify her influence here. Depending on the outcome of the vote of no confidence, they have played right into our hands by accepting this deal. So, I don't want to rain on everyone's parade, but are we not even going to consider what might happen if we fail? No, we are not, because you will not fail, not with us aiding your efforts. Also, were you serious back there when you said that we were all going to teach Jia Xishun, all 12 of us? I won't object to selecting only a few of us with better aptitudes to be educators. Oh, by the way, we've already established an internal hierarchy based on the sum of each of our abilities. Of course, the results weren't entirely to my satisfaction, due to an unexpected incident. Miss Otis, that is a statement mired in narrowed vision, rife with factual refractions. I am of the stance that the qualities of a good teacher are not defined by such statistics. So you must be the one who placed last in that scale. He's tough, alright, he is, okay? He's really strong. Blade lineage Yi-Sang remains one of the best IDs you can use. Just don't say anything, bud. Best not to stand out like a sore thumb. I may have overreacted then. My lord has said that from the virtuous we may learn to replicate their merits, from the flawed we may learn to avoid their failings. As long as the student is willing to learn, anyone, anything can be a teacher. It's true. I also, to embrace this teaching, seek from all those who we come across. Just what in the heavens are you doing? I am preparing a lesson plan for young Xishun, our family hierarch. Wow, you sure got on that fast. So what are these yellow wormy things here? Did you draw a sun with little sun rays on it? Aha! 'Tis a star, twinkling in its radiance. According to this schedule you have prepared, the student would have -3 hours available for sleep. This lesson's plans and execution will require cooperation from T-Corp. Gah! 'Twould be a mistake most fatal indeed. I shall correct it post-haste. Zigong was staring at Don Quixote's expression of her wild artistic merit upon the curriculum with her usual crescent moon eyes. Wait, is that supposed to be Zigong's grimace? Of course, each to their own, I suppose. I need not be shaken by every little thing until we have their actual lesson plans in hand. Shake it off, Zigong. It's fine. Shake it off. Hey, thanks for putting your faith in us, Zigong. We barely have any of that to go around ourselves, so I understand it couldn't have been easy. You could say that I have learned my lesson. The recent events have taught me that the path of learning is truly one without end. It is indeed. It sure is, in fact. It 100% is. True. Well, I am going to leave it there for today, friends. The only intent today was simply to make a start and get things established, and we have. I don't know why, but I wasn't expecting the reason for the training montage to be so fucking dire. I thought it was going to be almost entirely lighthearted and then maybe delve into something a bit more serious, but no, it's pretty fucking dire from the get-go. With Yuan Shun already, like, doing machinations and plots and shit, I figured she'd bide her time for a little while after she got, Bao Chai over to her side. But no, we're straight in there with some pretty heavy intrigue as well. Good stuff. Looking forward to doing more, honestly. Looking forward to seeing where it goes. But I talked about this in a recent video, and most of you probably wouldn't have seen it, but I am now really, honestly, sincerely trying to cut down on video length because I cannot spend my entire life in this office. I have to practice bass, I have to exercise, I have to look after my dogs, I have to go outside and touch grass sometimes. So we're going to balance things out a bit. These are still longer videos than you get from most people on the regular, so, you know, I don't actually feel too bad about it, but I'm looking forward to hitting more of this, and I'll be looking forward to hearing people's thoughts on the situation currently at hand within the Intervalo. No spoilers, please. I shouldn't have to say it, but here we fucking are. I believe Canto A expressed why I do need to state this regularly, but that's all from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to our members and patrons: Critfinity, Megan, Addison Sells, Foldwolf, Miscreant, Rakariku, Crescent, Tony the Horse, Lythag Syra, Abyssal Angie, Princeps, Jack Omu, Mr. Chrono, Substitics, Fihard, Mighty PH, Enter Story, E, Landelian, Gage Donaldson, Hotterman, Saga, Jack, Ninjadog, Ember Fox, Grand Captain General Peace, Mean Bagby Bag Tussle, Cuds, Kana Samaria, Portugal Bragg, Lifesteal, Meg Mr. Z-Man, Unclever Names, Summercat, Flanny, Painted Dragoon, Lip Potatoes, Proxy, Caminera, Moa, Heartland, Harrick J, Dresso, Sion, Distance, Lol, Etherbin, Linky, Zion, Cedar Bimbo, Talkia, Honeydew, Sweet Baby Red, Just Kitty Basanian Pie, Jim Ghost, Up Lullaby, K-Bob, Magic Owl, The Frostbite, SCP-106A, Namad, and KennyC800. Force follow me on YouTube and on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. So I would have edited most of them out because that's what I do, but Jesus Christ, did I fuck up so many lines today. Oh my god, I fucked up so many. It is the most aggravating thing in the world to be stuck on the same line over and over, and you just keep saying it wrong. Oh, hate it. Hate it so much. It is so aggravating to feel your brain not work properly and your mouth also not work properly. I'm fairly experienced at this by this point. You know, I've been doing this shit for a long time. So days like this don't pop up very often. I'll make a mistake here and there, you know, like I'm not perfect. I'm not like an audiobook reader level of good at this, if you know what I mean. Like audiobook readers are for real. But it doesn't happen frequently enough for me to be able to not be irritated when it happens. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten good enough now that it doesn't happen very often, which means when it does happen, it fucking pisses me off something chronic. It's been a lot of that today, and it's been awful. But other than that, which is entirely my own, you know, incompetence or just having a bad day or what have you, liking the Intervalo so far. Looking forward to seeing more of it. We've only barely scratched the surface of it and got a basic, like, plot established. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of the nitty-gritty details. I want to see those training montages. I bet they're going to be a lot of fun. And, well, there appear to be identities based on this Intervalo, so I'm curious to see how the hell that comes into things. Probably some Heishu antics from Yuan Shun, so, you know, her sending packs at us or something, like through some loophole or what have you, I don't know. Looking forward to seeing how that goes. Thank you so much for watching, and whatever happens next time, hope I see you there. Toodles. Goodbye.